Alright, what's going on, my dudes? Let's talk a little bit about what Cronus Zen features could be added to the game of Destiny for the sake of accessibility. Yes, that's right. I'm going to be talking about accessibility and the Cronus Zen usage and why so many people began flocking to it as an accessibility device. I'm very aware that it's also used for competitive advantage, but I'm also very aware that people that I work with that genuinely required use of something like this so that they could have their ability to play the game. So, without further ado, let's talk about some of this and get right into it. One of the things that Bungie does really well is they try to cater to the widest possible audience by making their game incredibly accessible. They put a lot of time, effort, and manpower into this, and that's really blatantly obvious by the types of things that they add into the game. I find that very honorable, and I think that's amazing. I have examples from something that could arguably be called a bad idea or a bad product, like the Cronus Zen, that could be used as good ideas moving forward. Now, I know that sounds really funny, but if you brainstorm and workshop ideas with anybody in a corporate setting, you'll know that sometimes the best ideas come from really horrible ones as a baseline, as a start. In fact, the full auto setting that's now in the game was actually because the Cronus Zen has something called rapid fire. That rapid fire allowed you to fire something like the Crimson in full automatic mode, which was a competitive advantage, of course, but also really inclusive for people that like to use that weapon and had issues with their hands pulling it, non-stop and having issues like that. I know that doesn't make a sense to a lot of you guys that are younger out there that may not have issues with your hands yet, but trust me, it was a godsend for people that wanted to use certain weaponry and not have to take 14 ibuprofen at the end of a gaming session. If you look at the new policy update, you can tell that they're doing something known as interpretive language, meaning they did call things out specifically, even though it was quite indirect, and then a lot of what they also talked about was how they would agree with these products or these devices being used for people that might actually require the help of that. So what I want to do today is I want to go over what other things within Zen Studios could be added to Bungie the game, Destiny the game, that, they wouldn't rely on something like an external device. No, I will not be showing any footage of anything that might be considered cheating. This is for educational purposes only, so I want you guys to have that understanding up front that none of this is designed to be used in a competitive way, since that has been clearly called out by Bungie as being a huge negative. But as I said earlier in the video, sometimes really great ideas can come from really terrible ones. And since Bungie is on this pathway anyway, I figure maybe I could chip in with my experience using something that's now considered to be a bannable offense, since they are going with these type of settings that are basically ripped right from the device itself. I'm going to show you what those settings are and which ones could be added in, because it really just comes down to something being added onto the controller for ease of use and accessibility. A buddy of mine seems to be under the impression that Bungie wants to be the first studio to be truly accessible within their video game. And Destiny 2 is something of a, laying groundwork or a practice ground for them to do that. So if this video can help them have a couple of more ideas or maybe even, figure a few extra things out that they could use moving forward for people to be more accessible, I hope I can contribute to that in this small way. So let's get a look at what I've been referring to for this whole video right now. So in the interest of accessibility, take the good out of the bad over here, there are some amazing things that Bungie could learn and they're already implementing from the Cronus Zen in regards to accessibility. So I thought that we should cover some of those because there's more than just full auto and auto melee. Those are a couple of features, but there's more, and I thought you guys might be interested to learn what those are. Check it out. This, the primary fire mod, this is actually just full auto. So if you were to read the description under here, you would see that all it does is give you the ability to hold down your weapon trigger, your LT, your right T, whatever, and it would give you the opportunity to just fire in full auto. Now, they already did a good job and put it in the game, so that's really cool. But down here, moving along, the other stuff that I thought would be good, you've got auto melee, which is right here. You've got auto reload, which is pretty cool. Not very useful because the minute that you stop firing, it immediately reloads your weapon. I don't personally like that one, but some people use it. This one is a really good one, in my opinion. This is making more use of the D-pad. So as opposed to pressing two buttons at once at the top, you would have the opportunity to use the D-pad instead of just emoting for other things, such as, your super, for example, or in some of these other cases, auto orbit and auto sparrow. It would then connect directly to those two left D-pad, right D-pad, up, anything like that, you would actually get a little bit more use out of it instead of just using emotes. So those are pretty cool. It's a single press of a button, makes things a lot more efficient. Here's the other one, the other two actually that I thought would be kind of cool. And skate mod, by the way, should also be looked at regarding putting it on the D-pad. But auto sprint is if you just hold your left analog stick forward, your character would then sprint no matter what. And the only way to get him to not sprint will be if you crouch. So you're either running or you're crouch walking. No walking anymore. That could be a cool option. And hair trigger sensitivity, if you pull the trigger down just a little bit, it fires at 100%. That's a pretty cool option for people that don't have the Xbox Elite controller that has the hair trigger, as an opportunity for you. So kind of a cool thing. Anyway, thought you guys might be interested to see that there's accessibility, and these are the things I go through with people that might need use of this for accessibility reasons. It is more than just a cheating device, and this is what I believe they would qualify as simple macro. I hope this video gave you guys something of an idea of the other uses that came from what's considered now to be a bad product, but this is, in my opinion, some good ideas. So if you would open your mind a little bit, perhaps you can see that there's some very, very good things that can come from this. Now, I don't know the extent of what developers have to go through when they're creating these things. I don't know how easy or hard it is to add any of these things into the game or what it would mess with, because bugginess seems to be an issue as of late. But I do believe that putting the ideas out there, perhaps somebody at Bungie or anywhere may grab onto a few of these and run with it, and then we'll have more accessibility options in the game, which I think would be awesome for everyone that might require something like that. Speaking of accessibility, I'm planning a video series of shorts and maybe some long-form content that have to do with corrective exercise, therapy, rehab, that are specific for people that might have some of the medical conditions that I've been working with in my Discord channel. So if you guys are interested in anything like that or have any ideas below that you want to suggest to me to help you with, I can do that as a master trainer. Alright my dudes, that's the end of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, leave them in the comment section down below. Remember that I love all you guys, I still want you to keep it zen out there, and I'll see you in the next one.